Yo! What up, it's your boy Z, and we are here with the full form part 1 video of how I escaped prison in Egypt. So get your snacks, get your food, get your drinks, and let's get started. So honestly, it began in North America. And I was like, I am done with this country. I need something new. I want to tee ha ha Dora the Explorer in a different country, you know? So an opportunity was presented to me by my mom to go to this 6-month program up in Egypt. Sounds great, right? And I was like, okay, no problem. She was like, it'll be like a youth counselor position. Being in my field is mental health, and also just going there for school. So I thought it was going to be like a college or like a university or something along those lines, right? So I was like, okay, let me see the website. Let me see the pictures and so on and so forth, so that see if it's good, right? So we go online and there's no pictures. There's no pictures. That seems sketchy to me, not having pictures on the website. So I was like, okay. And she was like, oh, don't worry. My friends and their kids said that it's a good experience and they really enjoyed it. And I was like, is that so? It made it seem like it was an Amazon review. So I was like, okay, no problem. Let me give it a try. I still want to tee ha ha and get my freedom. So we pack our stuff. We're getting ready to go. And I'm talking to my siblings and they're just like, we don't think this is a good idea. And I was just like, you know what? What could go wrong? Only 6 months. I'll survive, right? So we're on our way, zooming down like the Flash on the highway because we almost damn well missed this flight. Make it there, pack our bags on, and we hop on the flight. So mind you, it is 16 hours to get to Egypt. I didn't think it was going to be too long. So I'm out here on the plane like, damn. What's taking so long? Finally arrive, and the airport is just so nice. Like, like the materials, just the way it looks, and it was probably one of the nicest airports I've been to. So we're out here waiting for the supervisor of this school place, and we decide to go get my 6-month visa, right? So as soon as we finish, he pulls up in this raggedy car, and I was just like, what kind of bus is up in this? But you know what? Takes you from A to B, that's all that matters. I'm appreciative that we have a vehicle and we're not checking down there on foot. So he comes and grabs us. We're sitting in the car and he's like, hey, I'm Shaw. So for privacy reasons, everyone's getting a code name up in this story. So he looks at the rear view mirror and he looks back down and I'm like, this guy's trying to tell me something. So he looks back up and he's like, hey Z, so we don't really accept your hairstyle up in here. It was an afro state, by the way, and it wasn't even like a big afro. And I was just like, oh, is that so? And he was like, yeah, among the guys, you'd be like the one with the biggest hair there, and like, we don't really accept that. So let's see if we can go about getting that cut sometime soon. And I was like, I ain't cutting this hair. My mom was like, see, I told you to cut this hair. And I was like, nah. I'm not cutting this hair, but no problem. Yeah. So we finally get there, and it's a compound. I'm like, this don't look like no school. And the gates with spikes open. We park up. I see these kids running as if this is Wow Water Kingdom. I was like, they look happy. I don't know if this is my vibe though, And as soon as I enter, there's 2 cameras on each pillar. And I was like, oh, UAV inbound. They have high surveillance security up in here. So we walk in and there's like a corridor going this way. There's stairs going upstairs and there's stairs going downstairs, right? So there's a camera on each of those staircases as well. I was like, oh. Okay, that's great. More cameras, more surveillance, no problem. So head into the office and I see a TV screen with 13 different camera angles. I was like, what is this? Supermax? Why is there so many cameras up in this place? So we sit down and he's like, the first thing I'm going to need is your electronics and your passport. I was like, the only thing that can help me flee with the wings of the Pegasus out of here? You want me to give that to you? No, absolutely not. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Is that something that we can revisit? He wanted to take my phone too, so I would have no connection to the outside world. I out here made like a whole separate Egypt Instagram account. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be gallivanting. I'm going to show all of you guys what I'm doing up in this new place, up in this new school. And he wanted to take that away. And I was like, absolutely not. He was like, okay, that's something that we can like, revisit, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah, sure. So he was like, I'm going to talk to your mom. I'm going to get one of the older guys to come show you around, right? So I'm waiting and this older guy pulls up. Not like old, but like, I guess amongst the other of the population that's up in there, he would be considered older. So he pulls up and it looks like he's been inhaling protein powder. This guy looks like he's been working out since he got out the womb. So he's like, yo, what up, I'm G? And I was like, yo, what up, MZ? I was just like, it was like, wow, okay. So he was like, yeah, I'll be showing you around. So there's 3 classrooms, boom, on this side, when we exit staff area, and then there's one of the guys is, sleeping arrangements down there. So we go there, I meet 3 other of the key members of this story, King, Mood, and Uth, right? So they're up in that room together. And I was looking down at the carpet. I was just like, damn, this carpet looks like it was from Moses' time when he split the sea. Like it was falling apart. The paint on the walls needed to be redone. I was just like, this is definitely prison. And to top it all off, there's like bar rails on the window. And I was like, so you can't even jump out and and escape. This is literally, you're caged in. So he was about to take me upstairs to go drop my stuff off, right? And then we meet some of the women. There's women up in here. And I'm like, hey, what up, I'm Z? They look at each other because there's 2 of them. And then they look at me and G. And then they're like, ah! And they fled with the imperial winds of the Sephir. And I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, why are they running like that? And then G was like, yeah, we're not allowed to talk to the women up in here. So I was like, not allowed to talk to the women. This is getting more interesting by the minute. So we walk upstairs. I see another 2 cameras. 1, 2. I was like, more UAV inbound. So we get upstairs and he like shows me like the dining hall and stuff, more of the rooms, the kitchen. There's no stove, by the way. We can't even chef it up like Ramsay on our own. We have to fend for ourselves. So get to the room, drop my stuff off, and meet another core member of the story, Declan. So this guy just finished writing a whole 2-page letter. And he opened a bag of ramen noodles, folded up the paper, and he threw it in there. And I was like, so after we did our whole little introductions and stuff, I was like, sir, what is you doing? This guy's like, yeah, I'm going to get this message to the other side where the women are. And I was like, is that so? So how are you going to do that? You're going to summon a whole carrier pigeon, Pidgeotto, and they're going to take it there for you? And he was like, nah, there's another system in place for that. I was like, oh. So this kid came moments later. Declan went, gave him the package, whispered in the guy's ear, and he took the care package, and he fled with the wings of the Pegasus. And I was like, so they're using children as communication methods up in this place. That's great. Gets better by the minute. So I was talking to, G and Declan. I'm like, so give me the lowdown of this place. Who should I befriend? Who should I be weary of? So on and so forth, just to get, the lay of the land. Since I'm clearly in prison, I might as well know. So they were like a little weird to provide me information. More G, just because he didn't really know me. So he was just like, okay, the cooks you should befriend, in the event that you want to get more food. They don't give you a lot of portions up in here. There's not enough portions of food that they give you. Wow. Okay. He was like, you should be wary of the president and the supervisors. So Shaw's one of the supervisors. There's 2 more that will make an appearance later on. And he was just like, yeah, basically that's it. And I was like, okay, not as much information as I expected, but I was like, you know what, I can work with what I got, So go downstairs, see my mom. They finish talking, and then we go outside, and she's like, so what do you think of the place? And she was so excited, and I was like, I don't think this place is for me. Can we get back on the plane? And she was just like, really? You're not even gonna give it a try? It's only a 6-month program. She was like, I'll let you think about it. So I'm outside, and a whole teardrop descends my face, and I was like, am I really gonna be here for 6 whole months? I was like, this is legit prison. I'm like, go back inside, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. What could go wrong? So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. She was like, so excited, so giddy. So we decided to spend the next 2 weeks together because that's how long she was gonna be there before she left, right? And I was gonna be staying there, right? So we're tee-hee-hawing, gallivanting up in the, the sands of Egypt. So we went and go see the pyramid. We went and we saw the museums. We're gonna go to the Red Sea, but we didn't have the time to do it. Rode some camels. Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse up on the tank. So it was great, getting to see all the places and have that little bit of freedom before I was chained once again, right? So it's one day before she's about to leave, and she's like, oh, you should go to the classes and see how everything is and how the curriculum is gonna be just before I leave, right? So I was like, okay, no problem. So I get woken up at 6 a.m. to go to this damn class. I was just like, damn, we're out here when the roosters are crowing. So get ready and stuff, go to the breakfast hall. And they gave us these cold pancakes and eggs. I was like, it's colder than the Fortress of Solitude. How are you giving us? We can't even warm this up with the fires of Hades. There's no microwave. There's no anything. And I was like, This is genuinely prison. So I eat it, and I was just like, it was not hot, but I was starving. So head downstairs to meet my teacher for the first time. And as soon as I enter the room, this guy's actively beating this kid. And he's like, you don't want to learn. The stick breaks, does a 360 and passes my head. He turns around, he's like, new student, hey, go, 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 go. I walk into the class and I'm like, there's physical abuse happening up in here too? Physical abuse is happening up in here too. Like, this is wow. I was like, as me and my volunteer position, I got a lot of work to do. I don't know if I can change that with the teachers, but I'll definitely give it my best. So he's like, oh, where are you from? All of this. He's like, you speak really good English. And I was like, oh, thanks. I was like, yeah, from North America, like just out here trying to do my due diligence, learn a little 1-2. So he told me that the curriculum, there's like Arabic classes I'm going to be teaching, Egypt, of course. And then just, other stuff going on with like the kids and stuff, like, reading, writing, like all of that stuff. And I was primarily like interested in learning like, Arabic. Sad to say that actually I'm not going to get to that. I'll get to that later about the actual Arabic classes. But fast forward, it's like lunchtime now. So go upstairs, eat these soggy fries and chicken. And it was like just caked in oil. Like I was just like, man, my skin is going to feel it the next day. But G was like, yo, let's go downstairs and chill, And I was like, okay, let's go to the bachelor pad with this old rug. So we go downstairs and he's like, yo, so determine the strength in the rankings. I'm going to need you to face the G4. I was like, the G who? What are they, a band? And these 4 kids pull up. They're like, and they pose as if they're part of the Power Rangers. So there was Psych, there was Holland, there was Rock, and there was Teeth. So Holland was probably like the most D's out of all of them. Psych was the tallest. Teeth was like more on like the slimmer side, and Rock was like medium, So it was kind of just like, what is this? Mortal Kombat? Like, what? I'll be fighting these 4 people like Jackie Chan? Like, no way. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm more like, like a peacekeeping type of person. Why am I going to be out here fighting all these people? And this is more just to show you that this is like a prison whole system. They want to gauge my strength just to be able to know how to treat me. Especially because like some of the kids were there, This is what I was thinking. I could be wrong. But like, if Declan did it before I did it. So like clearly like I feel like there's something to it, and he ended up winning apparently. Well, he's a boxer, so but so they're like, yo, are you gonna do it? And I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can wrap this up real quick. You know what I mean? I was just like, fine. Like, I didn't want to be like the one that didn't do it, and just be like all talk and then like, like not really like, blending in with the squad. I'm like, I'm going to be here for some time. I might as well like, make some friends and stuff. So I'm just like, let's see what I can do. So he's like, go. So I run. So I know I'm into acrobatics. Did like a whole flip. Levitating in the air. It was not that long that I was in the air, but it felt like slow-mo because everybody was just watching me and they're like, whoa, they're just so shocked. And G was like, okay, Power Ranger, let's get it. I'm floating in the air, and I was just like, descended. And then after I turn around, they all look at me and they start running towards me. I did a superior leaf hurricane spin, grab one of their arms, and then I was just like, yo, you better submit just now. He was just like, never. So they all run after me, and I like crushed my head, and they're all like, and I was just like, oh. And I was like, if I can get this guy to submit, because that means that they would all lose, right? So I was just like, why am I even doing this? Like, so many thoughts going through my head, and then after we're like tossing and turning for an additional 2 minutes, and then G's like, okay, stop. And I was like, so we get up, we all like shake hands and stuff. And he's like, it was a really close game, but the winner is...